Welcome to the special, unique session today, Amrita Listens. And you could also call it as Coffee with Krish. Good morning to everybody who are here attending this special program. We have a special guest with us. In fact, he's the person who takes the complete charge of admission process for Amrita School of Engineering and Amrita Vishwa as well as Amrita School of Agricultural Science. I would like to introduce him as Brahmachari Swamiji Maheshwara Chaitanyaji, who has taken great pain in being here from 11 to 12 with us, clearing certain doubts which you students would not have asked. I don't know why you would have shied away from asking few questions, and I would like to now ask him a few questions for which we get a clarification direct from the horse mouth. So before we start, I would request Brahmachari Maheshwara Chaitanyaji to give a brief about himself, about his beginning his life with Amrita Vishwa and then so on, a bit of his educational qualification, and then I start off with my questions. So over to you, Swamiji. Thanks once again for being with us and clarifying most of our doubts, which our children would have otherwise asked. So over to you.
Okay. Thank you and welcome all of you to this session. So about myself, fundamentally I'm a technology enthusiast. Though my graduation was in commerce and then switched on to computers, after doing my B.Com, then I switched to MCA. And after that, it was a kind of long journey in teaching. Of course, teaching is not just teaching, but teaching and learning. So I started maybe from the programming, fundamentals of programming, then reached to web technologies and operating systems. Then I have been almost like 15 to 16 years, I taught most of the courses in computer science and have been guiding students in their projects. But now I'm totally into a kind of administrative role. But I still enjoy hosting the events like the world's largest programming contest, that is International Collegiate Programming Competition, that is ICPC, otherwise we call as. So that is primarily my area of interest, and I managed to put the country in a global map where we had lot of in the sense perhaps like 10,000 of students, college students participating in the competition. But now my official role in Amrita Vishwa is the chairman of B.Tech admissions, and I'm sure that there are a lot of queries other than the admission process. Whether join Amrita or not, there are a lot of queries that are being asked by teachers, the counselors, the students, the parents, and then the entire school community. So I'll be glad to answer the questions posted by Krish. He is the Career Competency Development Chairman. And we both have been delivering quite a large number of talks across India, covering a lot of schools, a lot of PU colleges in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, and as well as in the north. So I'll be glad to answer whatever question.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Swamiji. The first question is about when you open the website, we find that Amrita Vishwa has received a certificate of eminence.
Yes.
And I would certainly like our students to know what is the certificate of eminence, how does it differ from other institutions which have no such certification of eminence?
Okay. So the bread and butter of any program you pursue as your degree, the undergraduate degree, is the curriculum as such. The entire curriculum of a B.Tech program is crafted in such a way that after getting after your graduation, you are skilled enough to get accepted by the industry. So what does it mean, or what does it mean for a university like Amrita in getting kind of institute of eminence? Primarily we have two different cups. One is the research part, and the other one is the teaching part. So we have been doing a lot of research we call as compassion-driven research, finding out the problems faced by the society and giving solutions for that. That is one route. The other route is that we always keep changing the curriculum content, perhaps once in 3 years. So that helps us a lot, quite a lot, to get better students. First thing. Second is to make sure that they are placed in the good companies. So from the student perspective, the tag Institute of Eminent means the institution has got a flexibility in changing the curriculum, offering new and new programs based on the trend. For example, we never heard about something like B.Tech Computer Science AI or B.Tech Computer Science Cyber Security, maybe couple of years back. But now there are a lot of such programs offered by our university. So that matters a lot for the students.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. But I understand there are only about 10 public universities and 10 private universities for Poland.
Yes.
So I think we all need to be congratulated for this certificate of eminence. What it means is that we could take a call on any changes based on the industries or academics or in fact even in administration. The changes can be taken by ourselves without the approval of the UGC.
Yes.
Is that eminence?
Exactly.
All right. So thanks a lot. And Amrita Vishwa is one of those lucky universities who have been given the status of certification of eminence. So that's the number one question. The number two is like in the recent times when I mean 4 or 5 days back we heard that or we read in paper that under the time there is a higher education,
yes,
Asia ranking, we have moved from the 161st rank to 125 rank. So we have also yesterday's say in Hindi Taja Khabar, the burning or the hot news of yesterday is that in the last 3 years, 2019, 18, 17, I mean Amrita Vishwa have been faring at 8th rank in the NIR, and this year we have now. I mean, it's a great achievement for the university that now we have ranked the 4th best university in our country. It's a congratulations to all of us, the faculty, the students, the alumni, the entire administration, and of course the well-wishers like all of you who have been able to help us in getting this 4th rank as the best university in the country. But then it's all well said and well done. But have we ever researched as to what really made Amrita to keep growing to the higher heights? I'm sure in the next few years Amrita could be the best university in our country, and let's pray for that. But what are the changes that the university did in the last 12 months to achieve this fantabulous, fantastic rank of 4th? So over to you, Swami. What do you think are what do you think are the right things what we did so that we could grow from 8th to the 4th rank?
Yes. See, the primary aspect of if you see the whole trajectory of the entire university, starting from 2003 to 2020, the long the 17 years of the excelling in academics. The first thing is that we have a large pool of the international faculty delivering the talks, joining as adjunct faculties. And they, of course, this is completely under the guidance of our Chancellor, Sri Mata Amrita Devi. So she is the inspiration, she is the guiding light, and she drives the force or the machine that works for the university. So the international outlook or the impact or international relations with the universities abroad, and that too universities like University of Arizona or UC Berkeley. So those kind of, when we have a pact with University of Berkeley or those kind of top universities, we definitely get better exposure opportunities for our students. One of the key examples I would say is that the students undergoing this B.Tech, they are given opportunity to go to Sweden, let us say KTH Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden. So which means that we are creating opportunities through this international pact by attracting the foreign talents or international talents to the university. So that will keep growing.
Great.
And definitely that is one of the major or two major factors is the international relations as well as the international faculty. So that will definitely boost the level of the university. When we say that it is the level of the university, then I should say that the students are the crux of the academic institution, and they are getting benefit out of it. Only thing is that when we have these opportunities in front of you, you should be able to exploit it or utilize it.
Grab it. Okay, fine. That's a nice saying that let's grab the opportunities and utilize it, so that each of you joining us visit one of those top class best universities across the world. This is called an exchange program. We also send our students from there.
Exactly.
Unique, how many such universities? About 150 plus odd
Yes.
universities. So we have close to more than 150 plus universities internationally where we have this exchange program. So I think this is one aspect of the reasons as to how we were able to rank ourselves as the 4th best university in our country. But beyond this, I think beyond this we'll be also having many other improvements that we have done within the university for the benefit of our students.
Yes.
So this is about the university. Now let me get on to one simple question. That before our students decide on a particular institution to join for a B.Tech, whatever it is, what are the things our student must look at the particular institutions? Do they have this? Do they have that? Because it's not that you just close your eyes and join in an institution. You must also, at least do some homework before you decide on a particular institution. So what are the things they must check prior before they get themselves admitted into a particular engineering college or a university?
So again, I will repeat, the first aspect for any school student before becoming, graduate or before pursuing a graduate degree, the first important thing is that he has to have a kind of aim for the next 4 years or what will happen after 4 years. So that is one of the important things the student should have. So once he decides, okay, I'll join engineering or this is the engineering stream is best for me. So what happens next? He has to think of, okay, where should I do my best branch in engineering or my favorite branch in engineering? Then he should explore top 5 institutions or top 10 institutions. Maybe based on the the demography or wherever you want to go and study. Because I have heard parents saying that, okay, I don't want to send my wards far away, which I will not agree, because they need to be exposed to the world, they need to be exposed to the different culture. So then only the holistic or the entire character is molded. So that matters a lot. So before choosing an institution, I would say that the first is the credibility of the institution, the opportunities created by the institution, the faculty members available in the institution, the infrastructure provided by the institution. So the infrastructure, when we talk about infra, there are 3 or 4 key aspects. One is the academic part, academic infrastructure, whether you have enough labs for pursuing the degree, or you compare whether this institute has this and some other institute between institute A and institute B. It's a kind of comparison. So once he feels that, okay, there are inadequate infrastructure available, then you see the placement history. Okay, after going through this entire B.Tech program, by utilizing these opportunities and infrastructure, whether we are able to get a better placement, whether I can get a better placement. So that matters quite a lot, because ultimately I know that there are a large number of students taking the education loan and doing the B.Tech degree.
Sure.
So whether we can get a secure job, whether we can be secured about our future and career. So that also matters quite a lot. So one is the infrastructure on priority. Second is the opportunities created by the institution. Third is the faculty. Then again it goes to the placement history. Then comes there are at least maybe 15 to 20% of the students who go abroad. Again, when
higher
we
studies.
come back, higher studies. So again we come back because I am sure that at least 20% of the students who want to work in a kind of research area, whether it is industry or in academia, they will be willing to work in kind of research projects. So all this put together, you have basically I would say that when you connect this with ranking, it is all these parameters that is measured by the agency, any agency, let it be NIRF, National Institute of Ranking Framework, or THE or QS, or any agency you take. These all are the parameters evaluated by these agencies to ensure that okay, this institution is in this rank.
Well said, and infrastructure, no doubt, we have the best of everything in academies, research and development. Faculties, we do have, we have faculties who have graduated abroad and who have graduated in Western universities abroad. But then coming to the last point which you mentioned about the placement, because most of my students would like to hear more about the placement because, as you rightly said, the parents take a loan and then make them graduates in engineering. So what they want to look at is whether the ROI, return on investment, they invest, let's say 20 lakhs in the child, and how long does it take the 20 lakhs to be repaid to the bank. So this is a worrying factor in the mind of in the minds of most of the parents. So how is the placement in 2020, Swamiji, as far as Amrita School of Engineering is concerned?
Yeah, let me. Okay, sorry for that. There was a small connectivity issue.
So we were just talking about the placement.
Okay. When you talk about the placements, there are different aspects to it. People always think that okay, computer science alone has placement opportunities, or CS is the only branch which we can pursue for to get placement. So that is a completely wrong thing. I would say that even being a computer science enthusiast or technology enthusiast, I would say that there are ample opportunities in equally in all the domains. For example, let us take a small example that our government has said that okay, they will create smart cities, or they will develop infrastructure, or they are bringing high speed trains, let us say. So what does it mean? It means that there are job opportunities for the core engineering students who complete the electrical or mechanical or electronics, civil, any student you take. Okay, let us take the current scenario. We all know that the country is lacking healthcare system, correct? So what is it that you need? You need to have technology. You have 3D printers. So why don't you create a mask? Why don't you develop a PPE kit or a kind of mask for the doctors to wear in the hospitals? So that needs mechanical engineer. He has to design it, and he has to put it that design aspect in the computer, then give it for printing. So which means that skill is one of the important things you need to have when you look for placement. And though there are the major students get into computer science, because ultimately they are also looking for the job. But I would say that all the domains, even if it is mechanical or it is electrical or civil or chemical, now the sanitizers are the most demanding things. So how you can develop a kind of efficient solution, chemical solution. So these matters a lot. And this year we have 96% of placement.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And a major, of course, this thing goes to the CSE domain. But still, there are companies like Ashok Leyland or Hyundai, those kind of core companies they have recruited. And luckily or fortunately, other than one company, nobody has withdrawn any offers so far. And even the internship also is playing a vital role now.
That's done after the third year.
Exactly. After the third, yes. So both are going hand in hand. And now I'm sure that with the fourth rank in the country, I'm sure that the companies will ensure that our students are not, trapped in kind of this COVID pandemic by, laying them off or
What would be the highest salary for the year?
It is 52 lakhs per annum. That is by Atlassian, company called as Atlassian.
That's 52 lakhs.
52 lakhs per annum.
That's great.
And our average salary itself is it's somewhere around between 5 and 6 lakhs.
Yeah. About 50,000, 45.
Exactly.
Now, having said this, about how do you decide on a particular institution, and how do you choose it, and then having gone into that, you also spoke about the placement and all those. But the next worry with my students who are applying for various institutes, how do I choose the stream, the discipline? Should I take mechanical? Should I take civil? Should I take computer science? And there is always a rush, as you rightly mentioned, that people are going in for artificial intelligence. Now, they're a bit confused, like, I'm not talking about computer science as such. You have computer science, artificial intelligence, cyber security, you have something to do with IoT, different types. So that's one part of it. The other part of it, since so many varieties are there and everybody is rushing towards computer science, you get in most of the institutes, it's a fact which we need to agree that the computer science department gets the seats pretty fast. But how do I choose? How do I really go in for choosing mechanical? And why are they all running for computer science? I mean that's something which is worrying our students, because any college, computer science is filled up. So is it wrong to take mechanical? Is it wrong to take EEE? Is it wrong to take EC? Is it wrong to take civil? So what is your suggestion to our children?
Okay, one of the important questions, one of the most relevant questions in this especially this pandemic era. So the choosing of the branch has to completely depend on the interest of the student. So if I
find the interest,
finding out the interest or finding out my own strength, how good I am in mathematics, or how good I am in English, or how good I am in answering a logical question or aptitude question. So you have something called as a psychometric test. Psychometric test is a scientifically proven thing, and there are a lot of agencies or the websites that you can take a psychometric test. Nowadays, almost free. I think we have our own portal, my choice, my future, my career, my future. So psychometric test is one of the important ways in which you can identify your own strength and weakness. And when you say that, okay, which is the best branch, I would say that don't go by what I'm sorry, don't go by what your parents say, don't go by with the relatives say, don't go by with your friends, whatever friends say or neighbors say. You have to choose your own, or it has to be your own responsibility on choosing your favorite branch. So once you have your the strength and weakness in hand, then you go through the curriculum, or whatever you hear. Okay, somebody says that computer science is good. Then you go to a computer science the institution website, see what is what has it, or what is the curriculum, what all subjects you need to learn. Because from this year or for the next at least 10 years, both this Internet of Things, machine learning, then artificial intelligence, then cyber security, then robotics or renewable energy, all these areas are going to be very strong. So don't think that computer science alone is the branch that will help you to get a better future or better career. So choose a branch which you have passion. You suppose, okay, let us say I'm interested in electronics. So why don't I choose a domain called electronics and communication engineering? And then you choose to go for automotive electronics, because we see that Google is testing, Tesla is testing, and there are companies that they are testing autonomous cars. And we are 100% sure that it's not going to come in near future in India. But still, there is scope for automotive electronics in the automobile industry, because we see that there are a lot of accidents happening. So technology is being applied in even in automobile sector to track the events, to track the incidents. So that helps a lot, and especially when this COVID slows down, and people will heavily depend on the e-commerce portals. Then you need to have the delivery of the items. So again, the automotive sector has important role to play. So where the vehicle has reached or where the item has reached. So all these things put together. Or you take Alexa, Amazon Alexa. So Amazon Alexa is a merger of kind of AI, machine learning, IoT, communication, everything. So which means that you have ample opportunities in any branch, but you select a specific branch based on your passion. And note that you are not confined to that specific branch. Rather, you are completely, or you have to think completely from an interdisciplinary point of view, because CSE is now applied in all the domains. Or when you take mechanical engineering you have to apply in robotics. Electrical engineering has also a role to play in robotics. So it is ultimately the passion. So they have to study the curriculum. They have to study what all are the subjects taught in the entire curriculum for any program. Then let them do a research, because they have enough time now. So once they come out with a solid proof, and they should have first choice, second choice, and third choice. So then you compare, okay, which branch has, or which is the best institution offering this specific branch. Then you compare both. So that will improve your analytical skills. So that is also a learning process for you. So being a student who is coming out from the school and about to join an engineering degree, analysis is very critical and very important.
Thank you so much, Swami, for your interesting explanation on this particular issue. The next question which I'm going to pose to you is, even before this pandemic, we all came to know about pandemic maybe 2 or 3 months back. Even before that, for the last 6 months to 1 year, the Indian economy, we have been seeing the depression. We have been seeing the economy as such is falling, the demand for automobiles, the car sales, overall the purchasing power has come down on individuals. So things were actually out of shape, and that's one aspect of it. The second aspect, if you look at the future of our children who are becoming engineers or accountants or whatever field they are going to specialize in, the future which we all feel is going to be very uncertain. I'm not talking about pandemic, even before pandemic, it's quite volatile and it's unpredictable. So there's a confused state even before pandemic. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that a year back, 2 years back, both of us used to go and address the students saying that 40 to 50% of the current jobs will vanish. So that's a very threatening statement what we have made. But then on the lighter side, on the brighter side of whatever we are talking, there are more new opportunities that will come up. Very new. I mean, that is one aspect. The fourth aspect is you being a programmer yourself, you will find that robotics will slowly take over the jobs of the human beings. So that's the fourth point. And the fifth is the deadly virus that we are facing for the last 3 to 4 months. And totally we are confused. The parents are confused, I am confused, you are confused, the children are confused as to what is going to be my future. For me, okay, I'm 62 plus, so you're almost getting close to 50. But our children who are 16, 17 years, and the parent, and then they might lose jobs, they may get less salaries. I think there's a lot of chaos which is going to be further seen in the next couple of months. A lot of threatening talks about pandemic, doubling, tripling. Oh my God. I mean, if you're on the TV or if you open your WhatsApp, you get a lot of maybe information which are true or maybe false. But all 4 or 5 things which I mentioned from the beginning, we are going to see, it's going to be a big question mark in front of us, especially for our children, regarding their future. So that is the question from my side is, how do, as a child, build confidence in himself and move forward? I'm talking from the engineering point of view. Now, what I want you to answer is, how do they build that confidence? They're totally stressed. I mean, I've been talking to a few of the students whom I know personally. They're totally confused. That's number one. How do you build that confidence? That's number one. Number two, looking at the industry, what type of industry will prosper in the next 3, 4 to 5? Because my friends will get, I think 2004 would be the year of graduation. By the time they reach 2004, maybe things would have all eased up a bit or eased up completely. So what is the industry growth in terms of, like today we say aviation is nil, tourism is nil, you have entertainment, malls are closed. So, there is almost a closure of certain industries. But then, as you were talking about which industry is going to prosper and how do they tackle their depression and confusion of today and move forward in the next 4 years. And by the time they become engineers, graduate themselves as engineer, at least they will see a greener side from the darker side which they are facing today. Over to you, Swami. A little longer, lengthier question. but then I thought you're the right person for me.
Okay, I'll first answer your second question, then come to the first question.
Yes.
So let us talk about the current situation now. What is happening in current situation is almost all the people who thought that technology is something that needs to be kept away from life, they have started using technology. Right from ordering of the food, the grocery, or whatever essential item you need to live inside home. Let us say, well, if you are a working professional, then you need to have a laptop, or you started cooking by yourself, so you need some utensils in the kitchen. So what we do, instead of going out, what you do, you just take your mobile app, any app like Amazon or Flipkart or any e-commerce app, and just start ordering it. And maybe in a couple of days you get the delivery. The same thing is happening with the popular food delivery apps called as Uber Eats or Swiggy or Zomato. And I'm sure that there are at least in a few companies, these startups who are engaged in different other domains, they have started now offering this food delivery. So what does it mean? That technology has been part and parcel of your daily life. You take Arogya Setu app. Government is insisting that you should have that. Okay. Now let us say government wants to trap you or track you both, and you have the mobile. They want to check if you are going out from the quarantine. So which means that you need to have an app. So what does it mean? It means that it's technology. So you look for maybe the beyond 4 years. You leave the current situation. Now, government has almost announced a lot of packages for the industries. Though there are a lot of complaints that there is nothing much for the lower section in the class. What I have seen is there is something for those who are real aspirants, and that too. Now, what happens is most of the people who are confident enough to start a company. I'm not talking about large company like Amazon, but a small company. Where you can sell some local products, locally made, Indian made good products. Then that will emerge as kind of industry creating employment. But then I would say that may not be the same pay scale as you see now. Pay scale may be less, and it may take some time for the economy to recover. So when the e-commerce starts booming, you need to have a supply chain. Supply chain is nothing but the entire automobile sector. Taking the goods from one location to another, or air cargo, or whatever. There is supply chain. Now what we see is that we are badly in need of healthcare infrastructure. Right from the ventilators, the PPE kits, or testing kits, whatever we import from other countries. So India has now started, or most of the pharma companies have now started producing that kind of, healthcare instruments. I would say the best example is, I think maybe one and a half months back, Anand Mahindra had done a tweet. Okay, I will ask my employees to start manufacturing the ventilators, low-cost ventilators. So which means that there is a scope for the people, even from the mechanical engineering, to get a job. So then you should not expect that kind of high pay jobs, but there is a job. Or you have an opportunity to start your own startup. And let us say when the supply chain goes up, then naturally there is a boom in the data sector. Data is now the driving force for the technology. So you use the mobile. The moment you use the mobile phone, there is data. So let us say you are saving your files in Google Drive. Where it goes? It goes to the cloud. So which means that you need cloud computing professionals. The moment you say that it is digital or is online, you need cybersecurity experts. So which means that once the AI, artificial intelligence, comes into almost all the domains, then naturally there will be a spike in the number of professionals who are experts in that. So how then I come to the next question, that is, how you improve the confidence or how you gain the confidence.
Sure.
See, unless otherwise you start doing something, jump into the sea and then you start. So what happens? You have to start practicing skills sitting at home. How you do that? You have ample websites offering online courses. And I'm sure that most of the online courses are now free. You forget about certification. You think only about the skills what you can earn. So whatever skills you earn, that skills will make you more competent. And definitely there will be failures. There is no doubt that there will be failures. Because, finally, just a few minutes back, I had to restart the Wi-Fi because there are failures. Everywhere you will see the failure, but unless otherwise you do something, you will not be able to overcome that fear complex. So you keep practicing. In case if you are practicing for the JEE or A or any entrance examination, you have to keep taking the online tests. So unless otherwise you take the online test, you will not be able to know where you are strong in, where you are weak in. Then you start gaining confidence from that part.
So thank you so much, Swami. That can I assure my students that his advice is to keep yourself occupied and joining one of those courses where you online courses. But when you talk about the and second one, you said that not to worry, the industry will pick up in the next 3-4 years. So you will all get a job, but not to the extent of your expected salaries. But today's contest, having a job is more important than getting a. I think can I tell them nothing to worry? I think
exactly.
For the parents and for the students.
At least for the current at this point of time, there is no meaning in getting worried. What you need to have is that you have to be confident enough. You keep calm and try to learn as much as possible. At least you can do one thing is whatever the subjects or the exams that you have almost completed in the past, maybe couple of months. I mean the +2 exams. You can just go through or revise it again to make sure that you have a fundamental or you are strong in fundamentals.
Okay, fine. Thanks a lot, Swami, on that. The next question to you is that I prefer to join and take up computer science, artificial intelligence, right, with Amrita School of Engineering. I don't get I don't get that particular rank for me to be admitted into computer science, AI. What do I do then? How do I choose the next best? I want to still join the School of Engineering, and though I don't have AI, CSE-AI, how do I choose the next? Should I go for ECE? Should I go for cybersecurity? How do I choose, Swami? Please help me out with this.
Okay, so there are 3 or 4 different categories when you talk about engineering. One is the completely computing sector, or the computing category. Other is the circuit branches. Circuit branches will include the computer communication, electronics and communication, electrical engineering. All these belong to circuit branches. Then there is mechanical or automobile or mechatronics branches. Then you have aerospace is also in a kind of partial or almost similar with mechanical engineering. And then you have something called as civil and chemical. So suppose, let us say, assume that you are an aspirant in aerospace and you are not able to get into aerospace branch. So I will connect this question to the second question which you asked on how to choose a branch. So once you are able to get clarity on the curriculum, once you study the curriculum in this is not the entire syllabus content, but just the subjects. You may need hardly half an hour to go through one program curriculum. So once you are clear on the subjects that is being taught and to be learned in that specific degree, then you will get an idea on what should be the next option. So let us say you are trying to get into aerospace. Then if you are not able to get into aerospace, which is the next best option? Then the next best option is mechanical engineering. So let us say mechanical engineering, if you are not able to get some, because of some issues or there may be some situations you may not be able to get the second option also. Then you choose the next best or closely connected branch, based on what you are planning to do after B.Tech. So when you choose a branch, the first thing is that what is your plan to or what is your career plan after B.Tech? Let us say you want to work in automotive industry. An electrical engineer has good options in the automotive industry. Communication engineer has good options in automotive industry. It is not just the mechanical engineer. Okay, you take aviation sector. Even for if you get into aircraft, you will know that there are electricity inside. Whether we are not concerned about the source as a layman, but an engineer knows from where it comes. So which means that there are ample opportunities. So based on what you want to be after B.Tech, based on that only you can choose first option, second option, third option. So your aim is to get into AI, computer science AI. So what you do if I'm not able to get B.Tech AI, then you choose computer science, because computer science AI is specialized graduation, whereas computer science engineering is a broad kind of engineering domain. And what happens is once you join B.Tech computer science engineering, you have options to choose whether it is cyber security, whether it's machine learning or AI or data science or data analytics or big data or cloud computing, ample of options. So based on that, what you want to be after pursuing B.Tech, that is the important factor here.
So which means all disciplines are interlinked.
Exactly. Now it's going to be interlinked.
So it is not that.
Yeah, especially I should say that that is the fourth industrial revolution, where after digitization or once the data is with you, in the sense that all the data is stored and recorded somewhere, then what you do with that? Then you have to have the entire thing as in one platform.
So I think it's quite clear here, but the next statement which I'm going to make, Swami would have certainly heard about it, that I don't know how far it is true, so you have to substantiate and agree or disagree with the statement. I don't want to quote who said, because this has been quoted by many of them, that 75% of our engineers who pass out every year are not employable. Is it true? Is it false? 75% is too a high percentage that they take a loan, they graduate themselves, they spend 4 years on learning engineering, and when they get the degree, B.Tech or B, you say they are not employable. It's something, I think it's ruthless. It can't be accepted at all. So if that is true, how does it differ in the sense that what does Amrita School of Engineering, what does it do to ensure that you said 96% plus are placed in Amrita School of Engineering? Yes. So if the statement is true, it is not true with Amrita School of Engineering. It could be true elsewhere, and why is it true? That's number one. And what are the special things that you do to make our students employable? Charity begins at home, so we'll have to take care of our students who join us. So what is the speciality in creating that 96.1% with 52 lakhs salary being offered for the students of the school? So how does it happen here, and why is it not happening in other institutions? Over to you, Sam.
Is
that statement true? Sam?
Yeah,
you also would have heard that.
Yeah, see that statement is pretty much true.
True. Okay.
First thing. Second thing is we have to find out why it is true. So that plays a vital role, because when we say that a statement is true, there has to be some reason why it is true.
Absolutely.
Correct. So I had a discussion maybe a few months back with one of the key persons in one of the top industries, TCS. So what he says is that we are not able to get skilled students. So this has a connection with the question you had asked in the beginning, how you choose an institution. So how you choose an institution is based on the infrastructure and those things. So when you plan to join a specific branch in engineering, then you choose the specific institution in the country. Then the next step or the most important thing is whether you have enough facilities. So if you have the platforms, or if you have abundant opportunities to make yourself employable, you make yourself employable with enough skills required for the industry, then this problem can be overcome. So when you choose specific branch or institute, as I suggested or mentioned earlier, the placement is very important. And which all are the companies that the institute accepts, or which all are the companies that is attracted by the institution, that plays a very critical role. So what does it mean? It means that it is the lack of skilled students available for the employment, which means that those who pass out from several institutions are not employable. It is not that there are no job opportunities. There are job opportunities, but we don't have the community, graduated community, to fit into those areas. Because I'm sure that you being in career competency, maybe 10 years back we had TCS, Infosys, and CTS, those kind of companies coming and doing mass recruitment.
Yes.
So nowadays you won't find it. So why is it that? Because those kind of jobs are now vanished, and those kind of jobs will go to the non-engineering sector. Non-engineering sector students are able to do IT services, where an engineer will build an IT service.
We're talking about this BPOs and KPOs.
Yeah, exactly. So now engineering students needs to be very skilled, or they have to have skills to get employment in industry. And how we do that? We have a dedicated center for industrial relations. It is called a CAR, and the soft skills or training for placement is embedded with the curriculum. So if you go through the curriculum, you will show that soft skills 1, soft skills 2, and it has some credits, few credits. So they have to pass those credits, earn those credits, and that is the way in which we mold the students.
So it's within the curriculum.
It is within the curriculum.
It is not nothing to do with
exactly.
the extracurricular.
No,
it is the curriculum itself.
Exactly.
So you train them in all attempting those examinations conducted by multinational companies. Now, having said this, Swamiji, what would be your recommendation to our children to be an excellent engineer, to succeed as an engineer? From now onwards, what are the qualities, what are the skills, or what are the talents that the children must develop? It's okay, the university or the school of engineering gives you a lot of inputs on how to be a good engineer, but within yourself, as being in this field for last 2 decades or a little more than that, what are the special qualities that an engineering students in the 4 years must look beyond the curriculum and do something extra, so that they can be a successful engineer wherever they are, whether in the company or an entrepreneur or as a professor. So the qualities that need to be developed in the next 4 years of their being as a student of engineering. Over to you, Sam.
The most fundamental aspect, whether you pursue engineering or not, even after completing your graduation, the most fundamental aspect is to keep your mind open to learning.
What type of learning, like for example?
So learning, let us say, we started this live event by ourselves, and we are not professionals in managing the IT infrastructure, but we are able to do that. So that itself is a learning.
So you will commit mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. So now let us say that in this current situation, I am 100% sure that we have started, paying the money online.
Oh, that's right.
So how you learned it? You will ask questions. You will ask people, because situation is demanding. So whether you are able to manage the situation or you are able to satisfy the demand, that matters a lot. And learning has to happen throughout your career. Whether you are in a post of CEO or whether you are a post of manager or whatever post you are in, learning has to happen. Any person who is in key position needs to understand what is happening around, and that is same with the student also. And whatever you have learned so far, theory, sitting in the classroom, you should be able to apply it. Unless otherwise you are able to apply, there is no meaning. So let us take a small example from a student's level. I mean the school student level. How many of you have gone through the statistics of this COVID-19 pandemic across the globe and in India? How many of you are able to analyze why this has happened like this, or why a situation was created, how it got affected in different states, Okay, let us say there are this much of population in one state, and this is the fatality rate, or this is the infected rate, this is the recovery rate, and you take the density of the population. So it is something mathematical, it is something statistical that will keep your brain working, that will improve your intellectual skills, analytical skills. So the same thing will happen, or same thing has to happen throughout the course.
So you mean to say, to be an engineer who can succeed well, they must be creative.
One is creativity, innovation, analysis. These are very important. So you take this, take a cup. This is a product of a person who has had a something in mind about the cup. So there is a weight for the cup, how the height of the cup, how much quantity of water or liquid it can hold inside, and how do you do the printing, and how can you hold it. So whatever you take, mobile phone, let us say mobile phone, we always look for the mobile with the best camera, or you look the mobile for the wide screen, or you look the mobile with highest power of battery. So what does it mean? It means that it is a skill. It is a skill. It is an analysis. The producer or the manufacturer needs to analyze. Okay, what is the best specification for for a group of users, and from your point of view, which will suit my use. So you have to analyze. You take 5 products, go through the specification, and buy the best one. Of course, based on the money also. So it matters a lot when you analyze the specification. As I mentioned earlier, when you go through the curriculum, it is something like buying a mobile phone.
Sorry, I think you touched up all the points, all the questions which I had asked you. But one question you are yet to answer me is: will robots replace many of our jobs? Because our students who are watching us, either they become a mechanical or a civil or electronics or whichever engineer they become. I worry. I'm not from the technical side, but I certainly worry that robots could replace the jobs, and that our children will become jobless in the future. So I think that was the point which I asked you. I think somehow we missed that. Will robots replace jobs, and will our children be without jobs in the future as an engineer? I just want to clarify this, because we are all into the field of learning engineering is to get ourselves employed, and we get some money, salary out of it, and we live happily. We should not be jobless. So I'm worried about it, because I'm a non-techie guy. So I've been worried. I've seen this. I'm seeing this. Maybe tomorrow aeroplanes could be without, cars are going to be without drivers. And tomorrow aeroplanes also could be without pilots. So where would be the pilot's job go? So I think it is a little bit worrying me. And what is your take on my statement that the robots will replace the jobs of many in the future?
So it is true, partially true. I would say it is partially true. The best example I always cite is the FASTag. We are all aware about the FASTag. The FASTag, the moment you fix the FASTag in the toll booth and you have a FASTag in the car, then there is no need of a person who waiting as well as person who will lift this thing for the vehicles to move. So which means that there are some jobs that will be replaced by machines. And one of the important fact is that in the current pandemic, the time with the social distancing and minimal human intervention, a lot of industries are trying to come out with automation. Okay. So what the young engineer or the students who are planning to pursue engineering, they should think is that to manage this automation or to build an automated process, there is engineering skill required. So that is why I mentioned engineering is not now specific to a branch. It is not confined to a branch. So if you need to have automation, then definitely there is something that is related with the technology. So you have to find out how this device can be connected with the internet. Or how is Alexa? Let us take the case of Alexa. Alexa is able to answer all your queries. So which means that it is connected to the internet. It is learning what you talk. It is learning your speech and is able to give you all the answers. But it is a device. So which means that there are some jobs that will be replaced by machines. At the same time, we would need more people to manage this machine, to maintain these machines, to come up with better creative machines.
To design, to service.
Exactly.
So, Swami, I think finally to conclude, I think it's going to be STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics is equal to computer science. So that's one of the reasons that people are still chasing computer science and artificial intelligence. So I think from the talk which we had with Swamiji is engineering is going to anything that you touch in life, the chair which I'm sitting, the shirt which I'm wearing, everything is engineering. I mean, there's nothing that without engineering we can even make it one step ahead. So engineering as such, I mean, I would certainly define engineering is science plus mathematics, which gives some economic solution for a technical problem. So engineering is going to live long, right? There's medicine, even for medicine you need engineering. So you have nothing to worry, my dear little students who are watching us, and you can pick up your degree in engineering, which is certainly will be the future. And that's why I mentioned STEM. It's science, technology, engineering, mathematics is equal to computer science. So thanks a lot, Swamiji, for spending your valuable time with us, and you enlightened us in terms of many aspects of the doubts what my children had before meeting this. And hopefully we would certainly invite you for many such occasions for Amrita Listens. And my dear little children, again, we'll be back on live tomorrow at 1600 hours, 4 p.m. with all those clarifications that you have asked us in the previous chat you had with our team of admissions in the Telegram chat. So till then, we meet again. And a small little, before I leave, I won't leave Swami just straight like that. We are just about 2 minutes to get on to blessings from Swami's side to all little children who are watching us, so that they live their life happy. Just bless them, Swami, so that
So let us pray. Let us pray to to make sure that the kind of a dullness that is looming around is removed, and let the light happen soon, very soon. And let us assume, or let us hope that things will be all right by by soon, or whenever maybe next 1 or 2 weeks or months. But at the same time, I would say that you keep practicing, you be confident enough to manage the situation, remain calm, and till we meet the next coffee or tea, whatever you offer. Bye bye. All the best.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful time. We meet again at 4 o'clock tomorrow evening. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.